guys are about ready, huh?
Yep, we're ready to go.
That's more than a nod.
Yeah.
That's very direct.
That's a lot. That's very direct. All right, you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. It's Monday, October 7th. You're at the first Town of Poolesville Commissioners meeting for October. We appreciate everybody being here. Everybody that's online or in the audience knows what happens next. Jeff, if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Jim.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, all the commissioners are here tonight. Town manager is here. Assistant Town Manager Niles is here. Looks like we're bereft of other town staff tonight, so Jay Gullo not here.
Nope.
And John Strong not needed, I would imagine.
He's on vacation also.
Oh, is he? Okay, great. How's everybody get to go on vacation all the time?
They were working all summer.
Thank you for that. I'm
Speaking for John Strong, I have no
Okay,
idea. Jay was vacationing all summer.
Right.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
okay. I
So
thought
moving forward, let's see.
maybe, I thought maybe you were getting a zing.
Sorry.
I thought you were getting a zing on me already. That was a fast one. Okay, you guys. Thanks you again for everybody being here tonight. We're glad you're here. We usually lead off with commissioners' announcements and committee reports. Jeff, if you don't mind, go ahead and
Yes, thank you.
ready.
So I do have several. First is the Poolesville Area Chamber of Commerce is having their pumpkin chunking event. I believe it's on, today's the 7th, so that must be Wednesday, at Lewis Orchards at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. until 7-ish. So please go on to the Poolesville Chamber, is it poolesvillechamber.org website to sign up for that. I don't know if Tom is in the audience. We still need some folks to sign up for that. Also, a few things about the fire station. So we had the Upper Montgomery County Volunteer Fire Station. We had a very successful open house Sunday. Lots of folks. We had the Montgomery County Police Command vehicle there. All the apparatus from the fire station was out. Many of the vendors from Poolesville Day were also invited and had a big area out on near the baseball field. So it worked out really, really well. Also, I want to kind of hold up, and I don't know if you won't be able to see this, of course, but the Montgomery County Public Schools, in conjunction with Montgomery County Fire Rescue Services, is offering now, when they haven't done it for a while, the high school cadet open house, and this is for students who are in grade 11 or 12 who are interested in possibly a career in the fire service. So that open house is Wednesday, October 16th at the Public Service Training Academy over on Snowford School Road in Gaithersburg. Also, and the video I'll show next Commissioners meeting, because the final video on the United States Postal Service issuance of the healthcare community stamp and video will be available actually tomorrow. So we'll do it on the next one. What else did I have here? The Upper Montgomery County Fire Station also held a CPR and AED training on the 28th of September. That was also very successful. And we also provided information, if anybody needs such information regarding naloxone, also often referred to as Narcan. A couple of things I wanted to mention also from the Poolesville Area Seniors Club. And they have a zillion things happening. They're quite a well-organized group. On the 19th of October is Motown Dancing. And all of you can register on the Poolesville, poolesvilleseniors.org website. They have a hip-hop dance class on the 21st of October, line dancing with Ashley Kelch on the 25th of October, Chair One Fitness with Deidre, and I attended that. It was great energy, very energetic music. And also a Veterans Day ceremony on, of course, November the 11th at 11:45 out here in the formal area in Wayland Commons. And I do think that is everything, Jim?
That's on, what did you give us from the Parks Board?
Oh, yeah, so I'll go into that next. So the Parks Board now, and I want to really credit, I don't want to jump the gun on any announcement, but I really want to credit Niles, because Niles has put together a really nice presentation for the Parks Board meeting. That's going to be Wednesday at 7 p.m. It talks about the possibility possible relocation of the dog park pending, and I know we're going to talk about the community center and all that. So thank you very much for that, Niles. Really, the only two things that are on that agenda are the dog park relocation discussion and following up on the sidewalk priority list. And I have here, I don't know if you want me to read all 23 sidewalk priority lists, but,
Give us the top 5.
good idea, okay. And one of them actually is completed, so I'll tell you that one first.
Okay, good.
If I can, I don't have my glasses, so. West Willard Road at, I might need Martin's help here. Westerly Road, so that one's actually done. Then Fisher Avenue also at Hertzberger, Norris at Fisher Avenue in Wooton, Fisher Avenue in Wooton also by West Willard. And you can imagine that's over by the high school,
Yes.
yeah. Because obviously we've been talking about that for a while. Wooton Avenue at Spurrier. Oh, and that's also, I believe that's going to be accomplished by the school system.
So it's on Wooton that the school system has completed it. So the part that's on Wooton has already been completed.
Okay.
By the school system. It's on West Willard that we are looking at. In fact, we have planned for that as well,
Right.
which we are in the rough initial stages of.
Then Bud Road near Fisher Avenue, that's over by almost out of town there, and Elgin Road at Fisher and Wooton, that's kind of near Bassett's and all that. And then also talking about, well, that's, you know what I said, the top 5, that's 8,
Yeah.
so,
Enough.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome to have the whole list, yeah.
Appreciate the work on it. Is that it for the Parks Board?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, thank you.
So we'll be talking about, a little bit later on tonight, we're going to talk about the community center and the use of Dr. Dillingham Park, and town staff's going to give us some background on that, and they're also going to give us an update on the West Willard Fisher Avenue improvements.
Yep.
Yeah, sidewalk. So we'll hear more later on from town staff on that. Okay, thank you for that, appreciate it. Martin, are you ready to give us on your second to last planning commission report, maybe?
Yes, mine will be considerably more brief. We did not have a planning commission meeting. We have one coming up a week from Wednesday, so I'll have more information for you at the next meeting. And I have no announcements, so there you have it.
Thank you. Your briefness is noted. Very good. Okay, which one of you guys wants to take on fair access?
Is there,
All right, well, I'll attempt, then you fill in if I miss anything, because there's a lot going on. Okay, at the Poolesville Day Breakfast, we had around 90 attendees. We had Aruna Miller there and Board of Education members, many of the candidates who are running, 5 of our council members and staffers. We had the full D15 delegation and the county executive, Mark Elrich, and many, many others. It was well attended, and I think there is an energy of we can make good things happen together going on. I really felt like it was a productive and friendly atmosphere. And then several of us also recently went to the listening session with the county executive. He is holding listening sessions about the budget around Montgomery County. And this was the first one that he held kind of up here north of, I don't even know, but it was the furthest north, and it was in Germantown at Black Rock. And of course, Fair Access Committee was there, several of our members, and Link did a great job of speaking to some of our priorities, including the pool bubble, the funding for WUMCO, the healthcare work that they're doing, and moving up the date for beginning the construction on the community center. And we think that we'll be able to get the county executive to hold another listening session up here in the northern part of the county sometime in November. And then one of the things that we've been talking about is the lack of, I'm going to call it accurate information about economic activity in the agricultural reserve. And so we had that forum a year ago, maybe, on the Western County economy and tourism in the Western County economy. And one of the recommendations that come out of that was to undertake an economic study of the Western County. So the D15 delegation is working on legislation that will be introduced this spring, I think, that will fund a study, and there will be hearings in November. and we'll be there as Fair Access Committee to testify and help move that forward. And it really it will highlight the importance of White's Ferry as well, and how the economic impact of having that close on the Western County. I think I'll briefly mention that we have our holiday event scheduled for December 5th. This is, again, another fantastic opportunity for us to get together with our D15 delegates and our county representatives and Board of Education members. But our final topic would be the pool bubble update, but I'm going to let Jim, is that okay if you
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
take that one? And then that wraps up everything that I have for Fair Access.
Excellent.
It's a
Ed?
great
Thank you.
job by my colleague here, and
Appreciate
I'm just going to tag on. It's a little bit more with it, and that's we're paying a little closer attention to some of the county's advisory committees,
Yes.
and making sure that Poolesville is represented in some of those different county-wide advisory committees. So there's an up-county advisory committee that we had someone from our region that was on. That person had resigned, so that seat wasn't filled by someone from Poolesville, but you have other folks in the up-county. So we thought we believe it's very important to make sure Poolesville's voice is heard in that space. We're also looking at other county-wide committees that have vacancies, and so Link's going to be putting some things out, encouraging people to apply to sit on those commissions. We're going to talk about it in our next Fair Access meeting that's coming up next week, next Thursday. So that's some other things. Just want to compliment the Fair Access Committee. There's a lot of hard workers behind the scenes, from getting up early to put on the things that are necessary so everything else looks like it's smooth and seamless, but there's a lot of people who work behind the scenes. Definitely want to give Link his credit for his leadership. So Fair Access is doing the things that's necessary so that we can have fair access. Next piece that I have is Sustainable Poolesville. They're here tonight. They're going to talk about zero waste box, and then we'll have a meeting coming up soon. So I will save that for them. I will not steal their thunder. So we still have our Pick It Up Poolesville. Niles, thank you for putting the information out. Pick It Up Poolesville is where we have a campaign to help support the work that's being done by some of our town employees here, making sure Poolesville stays neat and clean. But it's not just their responsibility, it's everybody's responsibility to pick it up if they see it. All right, so that's it.
Awesome.
I should add one thing, and you touched on Montgomery County advisory boards. Abby was appointed to the Montgomery County Library Advisory Board, and she represents Quince Orchard and the Maggie Nightingale Library, so.
All right,
Hey,
tell her
thank
congratulations.
you. Yeah, we appreciate that. Is that it for you, Ed?
That's it.
Thank you for that. My report from my position, yes, I want to thank all my Fair Access brethren and sisterin and everybody else that's a member of that committee for doing a great job and being on site. I echo what Ed says. They're the unsung heroes of Poolesville, like the commissioners are. They're not out front like we are in a lot of things, but they're out there making things happen. Most of our Fair Access team members are known to our legislative bodies throughout this region. They're on a first-name basis with them. There's a reason behind that. Everybody's working together to make sure that all the proper people that can help fund the things that make Poolesville pop and help us, be the community we are. I admire the leadership that we've had. Link, of course, does a great job, and it's nights without your kids. It's doing things that you don't necessarily want to do. It'd be easier to sit on the couch, and but we don't do that, and it's of course unpaid and volunteer to try and make Poolesville a better place. So love our Fair Access team. Appreciate everybody's work on it. Pool bubble is an interesting thing. So a group of us made the trip. I think Link quoted it was 257 miles round trip, so we could have gone to the beach. And instead, we went on a chilly morning down to St. Mary's, along with Wade came from where he lives out east, and then also John Strong was there, and we also had Montgomery County representation there because they will need to be our partners. It's actually their facility that we want them to put a bubble on. So all of us were there all day long. We had a lot of communications beforehand. We got to see the coordinated effort of what it takes to get a bubble, store a bubble, take the bubble out of storage, get the pool ready for the bubble, put the tarp on the bubble, because you have to have a tarp down before you can walk on water, literally, and pull the bubble out and then inflate it. So a lot of knowledge was gained, seeing it all firsthand. It allows us as a community to be able to speak to the county directly about it. We saw it all in action. We've saved up a few bucks to do it. It is their facility where, my hope is that we don't have to pay anything. They pay for everything, and that we get this bubble installed so we have a year-round facility, which I just saw, we were reviewing the survey today, and it was the second most sought-after amenity that we don't have in our entire region. So, we need things like that. Other places have more things than we do. That's not a reason to do it, but we need things like that for this community because, we're isolated, and there's a number of reasons why that it makes a lot of sense for us. So that was a day-long field trip, a lot of fun, going down there and have a lot of discussions with all the people that are going to make it happen. Link's arranging right now for us to have a face-to-face meeting once I get back from my little trip coming up on Wednesday, and we're going to meet, go down to county offices. We'll make sure the commissioners know what's going on. Anybody that can attend is welcome to it, but we'll be talking to the rec department straight up. And really, again, doing things like Fair Access does things. We build broad-based support with all the people that we work with. So we're going to be down there meeting with the Recreation Department. Likely a council member staffer will be there, but we're working on nuts and bolts. And just like Poolesville has done in recent years, we love handing stuff to the people that will fund it on a silver platter. We say to them, here's all the reasons why we need it. Here's how we think you can do it, and maybe should do it. And here's all the people that support it. So that's the game plan for the bubble coming up. I don't have anything else to say besides, sitting in a car with Link for 7 hours. That's basically what we did that day. So,
Or Link.
No. Link.
You slept halfway back.
I did. And a side note, so we're riding there, and we have it in Waze, and Link is a slow enough driver that Waze added time the entire time we were going. When I'm on Waze, we lose minutes, but we gained them on the way there with no traffic. But we did make it there safe, and I really appreciate it, buddy. And I did catch a nap, I think, on both ways. So,
Does
go ahead.
does the pool bubble involve heating the pool as well?
So that's a good question. It can be done without heating the pool.
Okay.
The air temperature alone, which is kept in the 80s, will allow the pool to maintain some heat.
Okay.
The best way to do it is to heat it, though, still. And if you look at, we can go on about this one, I'm not going to, but if you take an overhead view of our pool and look at the positioning of the bathhouse, the pool itself, the apron surrounding the pool, and the area behind the pool, the green area, which is an important area because swim teams hold meets, and that's a place where a lot of gathering takes place. So we have to be judicious with the space. But all of those match up to the St. Mary's pool that we visited. And they match up well. In fact, we match up better. Our apron looks like it's a little bit bigger around. A lot of use for the bubble is seniors walking, not just seniors, but everybody. They can come in and just walk the pool. You don't have to go swimming, but you can use the space for exercise.
And it would just cover the lap pool,
That's correct.
right?
Yeah. I mean,
Which has an area where you can also
Walk
obviously
around.
like dive or,
yeah.
but,
Yep.
yeah, okay.
Yep. The lap pool will be fully functional, just like you see it.
Okay.
With the bubble substantially, going to the very edge of the apron all the way around it. There has to be special concrete poured where you loop in the bubble, which holds it tight, and that's on the exterior of it.
Those are good pictures. I'll send it around to everybody.
Yeah,
We'll link.
Wade has a great, we should circulate those. We've been using them for research, but that's no reason why everybody, and we'll post it online
There
too.
was also a video which I watched about how the bubble gets inflated. And
Essentially, we saw that same thing in person. What they did, same guy that is their leader on it. We'd love to see the town play a role on it so we could have some sort of ownership with the county. But that is yet to be determined. We're all going to get with them and figure out what's the best way to go about it. So, anyway, more to come. Very exciting. So, and I wanted to take this message that I know that we have a candidate in the room that's Alan Hobbs for our next commissioner election coming up, and this is all to be vetted out by our election board. So we still got to check you out, man. And then we also have two behind the desk that are incumbents that are also running, and then we have a fourth candidate, Brian Bupp, running for commissioner. Our election board has to look at them all to give them the check mark and let us know that they're really officially candidates. But, and this is not going to be the only time I'm going to say this, but that means that Martin, one of our long-standing commissioners, has decided not to run again for reelection. And I already hit him up and whispered over to him. I said, you know, you do want to stay on the planning commission, right? And I caught him off guard, which is great. And I said, don't say no right off the bat either. But anyway, I just want to say, and we'll have a little bit more to say about it, but it's been a pleasure serving with you. You've done great things for the town. And we look forward to, the next meeting where we can slather a little bit more on you.
Thank
And then you can ride off your 50 feet into the sunset next door. So, but anyway, I wanted to say that up front. Thank you for that. All right, that's enough of me talking. Public comment time. We have one person that's signed up for it. Jerry, are you here for anything that's on the agenda, or you got on your own? On the agenda? Do you want to wait till after we do the presentation, or are you ready to go right now? It gives you a chance to have a counterpoint.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, got it. All right, just give me a signal when you're ready, and I'll bring you on up. Approval of the minutes from September, I need Jeff's glasses. September 16th meeting, 2024. The minutes have been sent out to all the commissioners. The meeting was the meeting. Did anybody get a chance to read it, and do they have any issues with the minutes? If you don't, can you make a motion?
I motion that we approve the minutes.
A second.
We have a
I don't know what I
mo,
have to say from the August 16th, or September 16th.
I'll clean up your motion for you, Sarah. It's, Sarah's made a motion to approve the minutes for the September 16th, 2024 meeting. Ed has seconded that.
Correct.
Thank you for that, you guys. And any questions, any desire to change anything? Anything for town staff? All in favor of approving the minutes for September 16th, 2024, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Okay, great. Minutes have been approved. All right, new business. This is awesome. The KPC Buddhist Relief Group is here. And we've often followed you. We see what we know where you live. We see you at town events. You're a very important part of our community. It's great having you here. I regret to say we only have 2 chairs up front, so I'm not sure who's presenting or who wants to start that conversation. Just one? All right, well, come on up and introduce yourself, and feel free to introduce your group as well, and thank you for being here tonight.
Either one?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm Dara Tokars. I'm here on behalf of Kunzang Payal Choling, which is KPC Buddhist Temple. And I'm here to talk to you about KPC Buddhist Relief. And you probably know some of these people here. This is Ani Alice Louise. I don't think you know her, but Ruben Jane in the back, Middleton Tara, Ani Kunzang, Ani Ariana, and Ann Cannon Geyser.
Very good.
So
Thank you for being
we're all
here.
involved in different ways with what's going on at the temple. And so we've been here, believe it or not, almost 40 years. We
Yes.
moved here in 1985 under the spiritual direction of Jetsma Akan Lamo. We're a Buddhist temple in the Tibetan tradition, and the heart of what we do is compassionate activity. We have a long history of humanitarian aid and feeding others, dating back to 1993 when we worked with the Montgomery County Home Start program through the Montgomery County Faith Liaison. And different opportunities like that came up, like people empowering people, the PEP program, making lunches for the homeless residents or people who made use of that service and things like that. But it wasn't until 2005, a time very much like right now with the Hurricane Helene, when Hurricane Katrina happened. And we were in 2 different parts of the country, here in Poolesville and then in Arizona. We sent groups from both parts down to help with the effort. One group bringing food and supplies, and the other group helping rescue over 100 dogs and keeping them until they were adopted out or lived out their natural lifespan. So, and then in between then, we've been supporting WUMCO for years with our on-site food collection, nothing like the food box at Pike and Valega, but still, just bringing the food regularly. And then the Ukraine effort, things like that. But it wasn't until COVID that it really started to come together. Like, we really saw how many people were dealing with food insecurity through the supply chain issues and losing jobs and things like that. And even when we got back to normal, it wasn't getting back to normal for a lot of these people. So our director, Jetsima, was sending a daily box of food to what was Black Rock, now it's the Up County Hub, just what a family could use every day. And out of that, Marco Oven, the director, was like, well, let's start a choice pantry from that. And that kind of made us think, oh, wow, we could give things to food pantries that people actually want, they request, they would use, not just, here, this is what we're giving you. It's like, what do you need to feel valued? What do you need to have a taste of home in your meals and all that? So that's our model. We kind of fill in the gaps. We already know that WUMCO is doing an amazing job, and the Poolesville Little Free Pantry, and we partner with both of them to kind of fill in the gaps. One way we do that is through fresh produce. So we've been providing that on a regular basis since last year for both of them. We've got a refrigerator for the Little Free Pantry, so they can bring out fresh food twice a day along with the other non-perishables and things like that. We sponsor the Backpack Bites program, which, the bags that go home to the elementary school students every weekend so that there's something that they can have for a meal together as a family or individual, yogurt, not yogurts, but oatmeal, milk, things like that. And we were doing that last year with 21 families, and I just found on Friday it's expanded to 29 families, which is a big increase. And talking to Katie and Sarah and everybody with the pantry and WUMCO, they're experiencing a 30% increase as well. They said that as of July, they distributed the same amount of food and resources that they had all of 2023. So
Wow.
we know we've got our work cut out for us. We don't want to, give less. We want to be able to keep up with the demand and make sure the fresh food is there, the cultural foods, the pantry staples, like things you don't think about, like oil and certain spices. It's what kind of makes the meal your family's, and it makes it your own. We've started volunteering with MANA with their community food rescue in order to bring more produce to our partners. Just by picking up that little delivery or saying, we'll take that and we'll bring it to WUMCO, kind of brings more food into them. We grow produce in our giving garden. It's a garden that everything grown there goes to our partners. The pantry, the Little Free Pantry, because that's open, all the time, and we could just get the food there. And also to WUMCO. And we have chickens, so a portion of the eggs also here into town. So what does that look like number-wise? We currently provide probably 1,200 pounds of food every other week to both of these places, which is, over a ton of food a month. The Backpack Bites with the 21 families, that was 335 pounds. I'll know next month when I buy the food for that what that'll be, but that's definitely going to be an increase. And just looking at our numbers for the year up until the end of August, that was over 20,500 pounds of food we were providing, and that, the number's only growing. So just kind of wanted to let you know who we are. We would like to apply for a grant for funding. We would like you to consider possibly including Buddhist Relief as a line item in the future, so that we can continue these partnerships. These partnerships are what we need in this part of the county. As you were saying, we're sometimes a little bit neglected by everything else that's going on.
Great. I love the approach. Commissioners, questions?
Well, I have a question, but mostly for Wade. Several months ago, didn't we come up with a grant policy?
Yes, we did. I shared that with Dara this
And
afternoon.
does this request satisfy the requirements?
No, they're going to have to go through the process with the request.
Oh, so we don't decide now?
No, so this is not
Oh, okay,
the decision
okay,
tonight.
all right.
Which we didn't know until this afternoon when we were able to
Okay.
contact each other.
So we'll come back, and we'll do that part.
Yeah, we'll call tonight education and
It's
appreciate that.
introduction and, yeah, letting you know. Oh, yeah, and the video.
Yep.
you have it in
Mm-hmm.
case.
Yeah, let's.
You want,
Yeah, we're
You want
ready
to do
for
it
it.
now, or?
Sure.
All
You
right.
want to maximize the screen? How
Yes,
long
I
is
will.
the video?
I was just waiting until we,
Is it 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
yeah, it's 3 minutes, so just give me a second.
Food insecurity is definitely an
It's
issue.
doing this again, hang on.
It's on the screen volume.
Yeah, but I think it's coming. Let me just check, because I think it's
Be
coming.
careful of my ears.
We are in a food desert here, surrounded by farmland, but access to food is very limited. We have a lot of seasonal workers here. They're working on farms, having to deal with a low-income job to begin with, and then there is no income for several months.
The important thing about all these different programs, the fact that we have a food pantry through WUMCO, we have a free choice pantry through Little Free Pantry, and we have Backpack Bites. What we're trying to do is create a safety net to catch that need and reduce that food insecurity somewhere.
Normally our shelves are much more full, but the demand has been so much that we are struggling to keep food on our shelves.
So the partnership between Buddhist Relief and Backpack Bites has been huge for us because we used to fully depend on donated items. Buddhist Relief brings us the majority of our food, and that is huge. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
It's been wonderful to collaborate with Buddhist Relief and to be able to communicate our needs, being able to rely on consistent delivery of fresh produce all year round has really meant so much to our clients.
KPC Buddhist Relief has had a tremendous impact on our ability to serve community members and reduce that need. We now know that, with that institutional support, what we can rely on, the consistency really helps our ability to let people know there will always be something there. You could donate to any one of those partners. KPC Buddhist Relief will have even a wider spread. It'll help people locally, and it'll help people in other parts of the county.
Hang on a second.
Almost made it.
Yeah,
Almost.
I think it's close. Taking a second to load here.
Is this reflection time?
Exactly.
Strategic pause.
Yeah.
Let me try one thing. Yeah, let's try to download it and try it that way. Download anyways.
Imagine.
No, I was talking about.
If it doesn't work, you saw the bulk of everything,
Yeah.
and it just talks about the different partners that we work with.
Yeah.
But I think you got the bulk of.
Yeah, and we can share it with
Yeah.
everyone as well. So,
So I have a question
Let it
for you, and
go.
I appreciate that. And it's, as I said, you've always been, obviously, you guys have been a community presence for a long time. I see you at events. We know that you're doing great work. So is it that you fundraise so that you can potentially tailor-make purchases for contribution, and then you grow, and contribution comes from growing? And then is that, how else do you guys, basically manifest? Do you give money away too, or do you fundraise to give money to groups, or it's all about you being able to procure food or create food and then distributing that food?
So we are funded by mostly, up until now, individual contributions, which is staggering. People just really believe in it and have been giving us money. And yes, we do go out and purchase the items. We don't give funding out. It's the food items and sometimes, clothing and hygiene supplies, depending on the need, things like that. We have been working really, really hard to apply for grants and other types of funding. We did get a grant from the I think it was the Food Council and the county and MANA together for the refrigeration grant. So we have refrigerator storage, which really helps us with the garden, like we can harvest at any time and we don't have to, run and deliver it and things like that. And for the eggs and all that, we've currently got the grant process that's going on right now that they had the FY25, I forget what the name of it. You know the one I'm talking about? It was due in September with the county. So it's another county grant. And then different foundations and things like that all over the country. For the Hurricane Helene effort, we're using wish lists, just kind of putting it out there to the world, because people kind of want to help and they feel like a drop in the ocean, but we're working directly with the community in Swannanoa, North Carolina, and we know 4 different places that this will be supporting.
Right.
Did
Interesting.
that answer what you're?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out a little bit more of the structure. And so you're farming, and to some degree?
To some degree, yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember how many acres the garden is. Do you guys remember how many square feet? I don't have that.
It says 3,400 square feet.
Thank you, yeah,
Right.
3,400 square feet.
And then chickens, eggs, and then most of it is about procuring and delivering.
Right.
And establishing the need and specifying the need.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Very good. And how much of the dollars, sometimes I have to ask the hard questions too, like how many of the dollars actually and the contributions come to Poolesville? We recognize the greater good of what you do. But, we have to be responsible to the residents and talk about if there's a grant application that's made, you need to think about how that works for how it's distributed to the taxpayers of Poolesville. Not, we want them to contribute, and we know they do, but then we're kind of forcing them to contribute when applications made to something that we all believe in and we know you believe in too.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a great question, and we have many restricted categories based on, like, somebody says, oh, I want this to support this part of the initiative and that part. There was a fundraiser at Locals, I think it was in March, the Empty Bowls fundraiser, that went towards the Backpack Bites program. That money is only used for the Backpack Bites. So, receipts are scanned, they're entered into QuickBooks,
Right.
the money is very, very carefully monitored.
That's a good answer, yeah.
And, for reporting purposes also, so all of that information.
Okay, good. I mean, I think that's important when you apply for the grant, that we kind of know that. We're responsible.
We'll put that in there.
And, the work is tremendous, so.
Thank you.
So just kind of a follow-up to that. Could you maybe give us just a rough estimate of how much of your annual budget goes towards like WUMCO, Poolesville Free Little Pantry versus the other organizations that you also work with?
Oh, gosh, wow. I don't know if 20% is correct. I'm literally and I'm the person who's working with all these numbers, like pounding.
It's
I
okay.
can get that information for
Okay,
you.
yeah.
easily. Like, I have that,
And
just not in my head.
And with the grant request that you're making, is that to fund globally all of your programs, or would that be specifically to fund like the WUMCO Poolesville Free Little Pantry?
Just the WUMCO and the Poolesville.
Okay.
We'd like to expand our summer program. We were funding the produce and the cheese for all of the summer lunches. We'd love to be able to fund all of that if we could. I didn't even talk about that, but you know how the county, the closest site is up in Clarksburg, and parents actually have to drive their kids there during the summer, wait while the kids eat, and then drive them back. That's not going to happen with a working parent, right? So we worked with WUMCO and the Hosanna Church to put together lunch bags for a week's worth of food for each child. And so they
that's
can make
great.
sandwiches and things.
They could pick it up one time the
Yes,
whole
they'd pick
week.
up on the Thursday night produce delivery at the same time, and then they'd be all set for lunch for the following week. So and that just started this year.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah, we do have plans to expand, and we will definitely only use the money, in town. But as you know, this is Poolesville, WUMCO also serves the other,
Sure, the surrounding region.
So I don't know if that's
And the backpack lunches,
Back bites.
yeah, that's a really cute name. That's for Poolesville Elementary
Poolesville and Monocacy.
and Monocacy. Okay,
So again, that could be
good.
documented in whatever way. Last year, we had 11 at Poolesville Elementary and 10 at Monocacy. This year, it's 20 at Poolesville Elementary and 9 at Monocacy. So the numbers have gone up.
That's amazing work.
Yeah.
Then just a follow-up to Sarah's question. I'm curious about the cost to create, like, the backpack bites, the cost that's involved that you all incur, because I know you have the budgets and whatnot, and it's really looking at, if I was drilling down and I'm looking at Poolesville, and then how much does it cost your organization to do the things that you're doing for residents of Poolesville?
Well,
And that's something you have
Like
to
the
answer
administrative
now.
side.
well, I have
Yeah.
that number, though. I do-
Okay, well, I like to- okay,
the
I like to hear that.
Bites number for some reason. We spend probably between 500, 550 a month on the 335 pounds for the backpack bites, because they ask for, Kathy Bellevos started that, and she modeled it after a program that Manna did elsewhere in the county. So there's different foods that go home every week. There's a combination of vegetables, rice, macaroni and cheese, pasta, tuna, chicken, granola bars, fruit snacks, like
So 550 a month for the whole program or per kid?
for the whole program. And that
That
provides-
is like,
it's not a lot.
that blows my mind.
Yeah. Well,
That covers
we
2
shop-
elementary schools.
I mean, we're like.
Completely
very
blows my mind.
shoppers. I mean, we make,
Wow.
we make it last.
Yeah. That's
And to be able
incredible.
to provide that much is really, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, Godspeed. Beautiful, beautiful
But of
work.
course, that's going up because, the numbers are going up. So that was last year's.
Sure. Yeah, you said 22 to 29 students. Yeah,
Right.
that's great.
So if I may ask, just, other than the grant that you got from Montgomery County to purchase the refrigerators and the van, and also, sounds like very significant donations from individual people, I guess.
Yeah, the vans were two donors, two major donors who really, we were using our personal cars. And they said, we do not want you to get into trouble for overloading your car. We want you to have your car first.
Oh, right.
Let's make it safe and, expedient. But yeah,
No, I was just curious because the budget is 370, that's right from last year or so, as I read it, 375,000?
I think that's the projected budget for this year.
Okay.
I know it's a lot.
And I'm just curious, like, other than, does that actually come from individual donors?
Last year, all of our funding did. This year, we're really working really hard. The other thing, I work with community partnerships, mostly with the pantry and with WOMCO, but I'm also the person who writes a lot of the grants too. So we're spending a lot of time doing that. And
Really, only the one-time grant from the county for the
Yeah.
refrigerators or whatnot. The rest
Yeah.
of the
yeah,
money literally comes from
donations.
donations, so. That's,
Mark spoke
amazing.
to how limited the county's budget is when it comes to food security. There was a lot of conversations about that
oh,
last week.
Some of our partners, we were speaking with someone at Shepherd's Table who said they don't like to give money for food. They want it to be, something that they could see how it, manifests in the future. And all that. And it's like, but people need the food, right? It's
Yeah.
like, where
Need to
do they
eat
get
now.
the food? And,
that's the old story about
Well,
don't
it's a-
give a person a fish, teach them how to fish.
but they're hungry, so they
No,
need the
I-
fish, right?
And it's
Not a
a
good
long-term
story.
investment. A kid who gets to eat regularly is going to have a different experience in school and a different success in school.
You're absolutely
You might
right. You're
not
not
be able to
just-
see it immediately, but
Yeah, you're not just feeding their body, they're going to remember that like, from years that they were taken care of, right? And so
Right.
that helps them maybe want to help others in the future too. so.
yeah, this is fantastic.
Is there any way at all to measure, I know this may be impossible to answer really, how much of the food goes to Poolesville residents?
Well, yeah, I mean, Katie at WOMCO can give us that information. The little free pantry, we don't know.
Oh, yeah,
It's
anybody
open
can.
to everybody, right? So
Anonymous,
it's like
yeah.
if somebody's driving through town and all that.
Yeah.
So I only have the numbers that I can get from them, but
Well, we can certainly ask Kate.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. She has that all in her annual.
Right.
But you mean specifically like what the.
Well,
things that
let me,
we-
let me just be honest about why I'm asking that. Because I want to be, I don't know what the right word is. I want to be, when the tax money comes from Poolesville residents. So I want the tax money from Poolesville residents to benefit Poolesville residents.
Right,
And it just kind of seems fair to me.
right.
And believe me, I understand there's need outside the boundary of the Poolesville.
No, and I understand.
Very
what
much
you're
understand
saying,
that.
too. And I'm sure that she could provide you that
Yep.
information, and then we could,
Yep.
show you that in our.
Right. Well, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. That was an awesome presentation,
Yes,
and
well, thank you very
I know we've given you some good guidance on the grant application over the last 10, 15 minutes, so thank you for it. I know you're very smart and you'll handle it the right way. So, thank you very much, everybody. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you guys want to. And I'll give you 2 minutes to leave if you feel like you need to go now.
I think Jerry.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get Jerry while they're here. Okay, gotcha. This is your time. You're joining
Jerry
the Buddhist group.
17300 Fletcher Hall Road, Poolesville, Maryland. What they're doing is very laudable, and I agree with Jeff. The money that, if we give any, and I have a problem because it seems like we're the go-to people for a lot of organizations. And, I assume they were at Poolesville Day. I didn't walk all of Poolesville, but there were a lot of various organizations, churches, and other organizations that were serving different types of food or raffles or whatever. And, I don't know if they use that. But I do know that Wegmans, if they you can go to Wegmans and you can fill out an application and you can team with them and get food. And now if Wegmans has it, I'm sure maybe Giant, Harris Teeter, and all the other major, here, unless they're associated with some of these more countywide things, that they could get, food from there as well. I mentioned this to WUMCO a long time ago. There's that opportunity to, they're up there in Germantown, and then they're over in Frederick as well. So that would be my recommendation, is they go try and see if they can talk to some of these or fill out applications for some of these supermarket chains in the area. And, maybe some food is moving and some isn't. And I know like Harris Teeter, they always usually have a thing of a rack where stuff isn't particularly selling. Anyways, that's just my input. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. You still on the agenda for other commentary? Just, you can let us know. Just give me a wave.
The one thing with the zero waste thing, I think they mentioned toothpaste. Now, I don't know, do they want, zero toothpaste in those tubes?
No, we want you to use
Cut them
toothpaste.
open, scrape them out.
We will yield to Don when he makes his presentation on that, but note that that's going to be a question, a very strict question that's going to be asked.
Because
Thank you.
I don't know if too many people would do that.
Appreciate that.
I would, because I'm cheap. No,
We knew
No, I'm
that about
cheap.
you. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that. Thanks for the commentary
you.
on that. Appreciate it. Thanks again for the presentation. That was awesome.
Yes, thank you.
And we look forward to hearing back from you guys as time goes on. All right, very good. So, speaking of zero waste, Don and
We'll give them
Erica.
2 minutes if they want to transition.
Oh, yeah, you have 2 minutes to go. If you guys want to now, you get to leave peacefully.
Thank you again, thank you
If
very
you want
much.
to stick around, it's great, too. We can also be found on YouTube.
Hey, take care. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks.
All right,
See you
thanks for
later.
coming out.
All right, you got your visual aids ready? Well, thanks, everyone. Before we get into our presentation, I just wanted to mention to you all that our final application for recertification as a sustainable Maryland community has been submitted to Maryland. It's going through its final review. We should hear in the next couple weeks, that we've been approved. We had more than enough points to be recertified at our bronze level, which is the basic level for starting into this program. But I don't want anyone's hopes up, but we think we might have accumulated enough to make the silver level.
Wow, that'd be great.
Just as a clarification, is that the award at the Maryland Municipal League?
Yes.
Okay, oh, that's super. Congratulations.
You should hear before the fall meeting, and then they'll make the presentation there. But
Thank you.
I want to update you all on that. As you all know, last year, our committee lobbied very, very strongly for the town to adopt dual stream recycling. When the new contract for trash recycling was let. We think it's been very successful. Less stuff going into a landfill, more stuff being recycled. We don't have any specifics, but is what we intended. But there's still more recycling that can be done, and this is what our zero waste project proposal is about. Recycling things that don't go in the regular recycling, things that are marked with the triangle emblem that has a 5 on it, or items that are not the right kind of material that can go into recycling. And there is a program for taking care of those things. And committee member Erica has done a lot of good research on it, and we have a proposal, we have a project that we want to basically get blessing of the commissioners to go ahead with. It's real cheap. With that, I'll turn it over to Erica, and she can wow you with what she's got.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us tonight. And first, I want to just say thank you so much for having us. I based a lot of this presentation on Zero Waste Lifestyle. It's a very good resource, so I have that. Before I start anything, I just want to end the presentation. Thank you for setting that up for me. I just want to ask you to think about rooms in your house, okay? Think about different rooms in your house and the types of trash you throw away on a daily basis. Take a minute. And then think about, have you ever noticed like how much trash you actually accumulate on you and your family accumulate on a weekly basis? So that's the next thing to think about, okay? And what I started doing is, after I read through this book and I started talking about zero waste and just starting to notice, because that's a lot of this point in this book, is thinking about going room to room to room and thinking about what you actually dispose of and the frequency at which you do that. And that sort of lent itself to, my daughter got contact lenses recently. And you wouldn't think that one little tiny blister pack, these are daily disposable for contact lenses, one little thing in the trash, no big deal, right? But when you have a month's supply or more, I didn't count exactly, and when you have another month's supply, it adds up to a lot. And so this is just one example of something I want to get out of the trash and out of the landfills, out of the incinerators. I have this idea for that. And then I have another idea. So we know we mentioned toothpaste. So this isn't daily compared to the contact lenses. This is obviously a lot longer. I've been collecting for a while. But tubes of toothpaste, dental floss containers, all these things just go in the trash can, okay? Containers to hold your toothbrushes, that plastic. Now the paper, my daughter said, can't the paper be recycled? Yes, it can, but the plastic cannot. Toothbrushes, same thing. All this just goes in your trash. So I have lots of examples of toothpaste. Okay, so you get the idea. Okay, so that's another bag of trash right there. It's just going in our trash can. Then I have, this beauty products. And I have a lot of them as a 15-year-old. We have deodorant, lots of containers. These just go in your trash. These are big too. And a lot of face wash. Again, these are not regular recycle products. They go right in your trash. My daughter even opened this up to clear it all out, to get every last drop of it. Still goes in your trash, okay? I have mascara. Again, the packaging for the different products just goes in the trash. None of this can get recycled. So again, another bag of trash. So like this is just, now this is over time, and as I will say, I've been collecting for a little while now. And then I have batteries. Nobody wants to put batteries in the trash. reusable, non-reusable. So Staples does have a container that you can fill up and bring in and drop off, and I've come up with a little, this is just, in my house, I've been collecting batteries. So this is a nice little idea, and they will take them. And if you can see in here, some of them have already started corroding. We don't want any of that in the trash, right? So this is a good way for me to figure out how to dispose. Coffee, everybody drinks, not everybody, a lot of people drink coffee, but these packs go right in the trash. So there's so this is another, these are another just displays of over time what I've collected. Now, this still goes with the blister packs. These can go in the recycle bin. I just kept it just for the demonstration and just to see, again, volume of displays. So yes, all of these can be recycled, okay? And then lastly, our Capri Suns. Now, I have teenagers. So I don't have very many of these Capri Sun wrappers, but these go right in the trash can too. But over time, think of how many of these you could have, right? So this is, again, more displays of things that we can get out of our trash cans. So just again to consider, and now we can jump into so the average, the next slide says the average American produces about 3 pounds of landfill-bound trash in a single day. So just again, I just want you to really be mindful of what this problem is that we're trying to think about, okay? And then we've always, we all know about reduce, reuse, recycle. We all talk about that. We do want to, that's just something we've been talking about. But then on the other end of the refuse, we want to refuse all those single-use products. Now, I can tell my daughter to use not the daily disposables and the other ones, but then there's more hygiene kind of issues, right? And so there's different things about refusing products, refusing all the little single-use plastic, and that's just something we all have to kind of work on, right? And then we have the reduce, the reuse, recycle, and then the rot with composting and things like that. So these are just ways to achieve zero waste. So this is just a nice graphic for that.
Next.
So big question, what can our community do to reduce the amount of trash that goes into the incinerator in Poolesville? So it's just kind of like overall community problem. Like, what can we all do about that? And so solutions could be, of course, continuing recycling, sharing importance of recycling, educating community members to continue to recycle at home and at local businesses. And then the idea of zero waste boxes to dispose the items that are not able to be recycled in regular systems, but can be recycled by this company called TerraCycle.
Does that also include like electronics and whatnot, old computers and laptops?
No, but Staples will take those.
Oh, no kidding.
And we're doing the big fleet, we're doing electronics recycling coming up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the TerraCycle, their statement is recycle the unrecyclable products with the TerraCycle brand. And I just listed one example of the free recycling program. So why is it free? It's free because the brands, Bausch & Lomb, Colgate, different companies, will pay individuals to send their products back in order to then recycle them the proper way. So of course there's a cost, but there's no direct cost to us because these companies are paying for it. So here's what our suggestion is. This is what we think, and as members of the Sustainable Poolesville Committee, what we would like to do to try to solve the problem in our town is we're asking for 5-gallon containers with the appropriate signage that we would create to be either stored at Town Hall here or at different local businesses in our town. And we're asking basically to set up the containers, to set up the items for the different types of packaging. Capri Sun wrappers, the coffee, the batteries, all the blister packs for the contact lenses and things like that, toothpaste, toothbrushes, all that. And then, as it accumulates, so over time, we would either send some of these if TerraCycle takes it, we would send some of it to TerraCycle, Or we would bring it to the transfer station, so the batteries would go to Staples or the transfer station. If we're doing light bulbs, we could take those out to different places. So we're just trying to say, we have a place to collect the items and then moving them to the next way just to get them again out of our trash. And this basically just lists some of the things I've already talked about, the different items that we're interested in starting with. Again, I didn't even list Capri Suns or coffee filters on this display. I don't want to make it so complicated. I want to kind of start smaller and then build and see the need of the town. But again, if you see just what I collected in the past few months, you see, how fast things accumulate. So it's sort of, and the questions came up when we were talking and we were kind of working on this presentation of even medicine that's like unfinished medicine. Well, there's a drop off at CVS. Well, I don't need to collect that, and the beauty supplies we can actually bring to Sephora. So we have a place for that already, and that's easy to get moved over. And then I thought this quote was great. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. So it's just, we all have to do our part to work with our community and help and protect our environment. And this is my idea, our pitch for being mindful of the community and the environment.
And I also know that, these ink cartridges you put in your home printer, if you take those, I believe it's the Staples, and I've done this many times, they'll somehow give you a credit on your next purchase of ink.
Right.
And they also take back the empty cartridges, and I don't know what they do with them really, but.
In the process of looking into this, we discovered that Staples will take a huge variety of stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that, okay.
Including electronics. Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
I really think a lot of different things.
Just to add a couple other things, I've already asked Wade if he has a way for us to get these 5-gallon buckets, and he says, yeah, he can get them for us. I don't know what his source is, but that would be the only.
Who knows where his mysterious source is?
Wade is a resourceful, frugal person.
The actual collection and sending it off or taking it to various places, the committee members take care of.
So there would be a bucket for batteries and another bucket for beauty products, and another bucket.
It would be different things.
Not just put everything all.
No.
We have some businesses in mind. I already have a commitment from Tracy at Sheer Elegance. She said, yeah, I'll be glad to have one to bring in beauty products.
Yeah.
Poolesville Vision at one time was collecting the bubble packs for contacts, and they were listed on TerraCycle's website as the drop-off point, and apparently they've just
stopped.
They just dropped doing it, but they're still listed as TerraCycle. But we think we can probably,
I guess there's nobody knew about it, yeah.
That would be a good spot for them. We're going to speak to Dr. Pike and Valega to see about maybe the Colgate products, toothpaste and toothbrushes, and maybe they would be willing to do that, or CVS, one of the two.
Oh, yeah.
And that's basically what, like Erica said, we want to start out small with just some basic items that lots of people have, and maybe expand it from there. Now, as far as signage for the buckets and those kinds of things, the committee will take care of that ourselves. Basically, all we're looking for is for you guys to say, go for it.
Yeah.
I love it. So many great efforts. I'm curious about sort of the education part of it, like how my concern is we've got all these buckets sitting here and they stay empty because people just don't know.
Well, it won't be an open bucket. It'll have a lid.
Yeah.
And we'll make a smaller opening for people to drop the stuff in. Okay, so it won't be a matter of people.
We don't want trash. We don't want trash in there.
Yeah.
It'll be clearly marked so there's no trash.
Sure.
That kind of thing.
But I'm just curious, like, how are you going to reach people and do the education part of it that has to take place in order for people to do something that takes effort?
Well, we're going to make full use of the town's website, Facebook, social media, the Facebook group that I right? And to get the word out. Plus, the signage for these will
Yeah.
include some, bring your, drop your toothbrush and stuff here, because this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
We'll conclude some explanation as to what the program is at each station, so.
Yeah. Do you work with like the middle school and high school at all, the students? And like the relevant,
Not on this project.
Yeah, this
Not
is
yet.
just like in general?
In general, we have worked with the high school for the Pick It Up Poolesville and.
Like specific projects? Okay.
And I'll jump in as a member of the committee. I'll wear that hat. It would be really designing campaigns
Right.
for what we want to target, and then it would be a matter of looking at who would be great partners in that endeavor. So if you're looking at sheer elegance, really getting that partner to really talk to their customer base about, hey, we're doing this, we're partnering up, it doesn't cost you something, and we repeat that, there's no cost to the town, and so it's great economically. It's a win for the businesses, because if you're selling products that they're recycling, it's good to maybe come back and get that. So what we were talking about in our meetings is step by step, being very methodical. So before moving forward, come back to the commissioners, see if commissioners get on board. If commissioners can get on board, then go back, then take the time to really design the different campaigns. Very similar how we had those educational campaigns with the dual streaming, dual recycling. So you got a lot of sharp people. I think we're going to put 2 more people on there. I guess they'll come up for a vote. So, and it speaks to the strength of the town, because we have a lot of great people who volunteer and a lot of creative ideas. And so it's really pulling in those creative ideas to make something work.
Awesome.
I love this idea. I think it's great. Might even be worth having the town do a mailing to sort of like introduce everybody to this, like we did, similar to what we did for the dual stream recycling. Just like FYI, here's what's available.
On recyclable paper, maybe?
Yeah, like just to introduce it and
There any way they want to brainstorm with this, and we're
yeah,
put them all the ways.
and let people know that like it may be expanding as time goes on.
It's on our list. We've got a default list of anytime we want to, push anything. It's like, yeah, okay, website, social media, maybe a mailer, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
standard operating for us.
Well, I like the new idea of like when the information's coming through the alerts.
Yep.
So fast, so easy.
Yep.
And cost
No
effective.
paper,
Oh, totally. That's a thing to add.
a wide audience.
Yeah, and we can roll it out.
You got the town marquee digital sign out there.
Yeah, we can do that too.
So, town staff, go ahead and tell us, I know we've been thinking about this, how are we going to make that work back there? What do you envision working with the group here, how that's going to be out back, if this is the place where it's going to be? And
It's going to be up back. It sounds like it's going to be more out in the community itself with the storefronts and things. We've had a battery box here before with scouts and different things that we've had out front. Which,
So Don, was the committee planning on doing something here at Town Hall, or, I've heard just some periphery talk about utilizing our public space here?
We kind of brainstormed where could we put these collection points? Well, Town Hall, yeah, because there's a lot of traffic in and out of here, but we're not sure, if that's a good spot or not. It's been mentioned, but we're more interested in places where people buy stuff, okay, your toothbrush, for example, drop your old toothbrush here, go buy a new one kind of thing, CVS or the dentist's office, the eye care stuff at Poolesville. So we're more interested in having these at businesses where people are more likely to get a hint or a reminder. Oh yeah, I could bring my stuff here. Town Hall, yeah, that was. We had it in mind, but it wasn't part.
Yeah, it's a public space, I get it. Oh, I mean, I think we'll obviously get the full, support of the town commissioners, and just want to know a little more logistically, if we're going to be doing something on public ground and how that would work. And of course, you'll work with town staff on how to put that together. So,
as part of when we were, researching some of this, I was in touch with the county Department of Environmental Protection. In the lobby of their building, they have some recycling bins, but they also have a very large plastic tube, clear plastic tube for dropping batteries. I did ask them, where did they get that? How could we get one?
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe,
That'd be great. Yeah, I mean,
but I have not heard back. But that sort of thing, would be what we might want to do here. But for the most part, we're talking about having it in a business where people will get a memory jog or,
sure. Yeah.
I'll bring my toothpick.
Yeah, purchasing, dropping off, going to
We
the
have
store,
good-
just like people do with the plastic bags these days. So when they do that, well, I mean, unless the commissioners, I don't really know appreciate all the work that you guys have done. And Erica, I don't know if you couldn't find anything on Ed's side of the sink,
Of course not.
Old Spice,
Oh, Erica, you ain't
hair gel. I don't know what he has over there. What's in there?
Yeah, on my Miracle.
Yeah, I was
Grow
going to say
back there,
Miracle Grow. No, I didn't. I was not saying that at all.
Body spray in here somewhere.
both-
It's my son's. He was happy about sharing that.
So looking at those next steps, right? So maybe those next steps, because
We use the same hair color. I know.
Yeah, I know.
Same thing. I know. We
his
do.
is working better than mine.
No.
But if we're looking at those next steps, because it's not that you need a vote or anything like that from us, but it's more so being in agreement that it's a good direction to go into.
Love the direction.
Then the committee, the Sustainable Poolesville Committee, will work with town staff to look at how do you flush out the best ideas, what's practical without being a nuisance or an eyesore, and then proceed forward.
And we also need to talk to businesses. We have one, definite commitment, but we got to talk to CVS and Dr. Pike and Poolesville Vision.
Yeah.
Maybe John at the hardware store, going forward. But when I initially asked Wade if there was somewhere where he could, find me some 5-gallon buckets, he said, is this something you're going to put before the commissioners? And I said, yeah, we can. So that's why we.
Yeah, so we're supplying the buckets. I'm sure he can work that out. That'll be great. And you'll come up with something.
We just want to
good,
make
so.
sure that you were, appraised of what we want to do.
Yeah, love the work. Yeah, it's great.
Go forward.
And any further talk about composting? Straight up
That is
composting?
still kind of sitting on the back burner a little bit. We've been talking about it. I was approached by a couple of young ladies at Poolesville Day who want to start a composting program at Poolesville Elementary. I said, well, come and talk to us, and maybe we can help you out with that. I haven't heard anything more from that. There's some moving parts to that are still moving. We're still looking at it.
Yeah, I totally believe it. Well, I'm glad you're on top of it.
That certainly supports zero waste, though. That's
Yes,
that's
yeah, that's part of zero waste, right?
Think about the amount of trash getting out of your in the kitchen with all the food waste, right?
Yeah.
Does Poolesville Library still have those
They
compost
do.
kits?
They do.
Okay.
And since you guys are here, have you been approached by any of the groups that are attempting to shut down the incinerator and further that discussion?
No.
We were, at our budget, at that listening session, we had a pretty adamant person that said they were from Poolesville that was holding Mark to task about, his promise to shut down the incinerator. And it was supposed to be shut down by whatever date it was.
I did.
I mean, you can, I think you can go through time and see where various people have promised that they would have it shut down by a certain time.
We have not been approached directly. I will mention that my wife Linda is on the county commission or board or whatever it is, that's looking into
Solutions.
the incinerator
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
About representation of Up County on.
Good. That's a good one. We'll take it.
She's also on the commission for aging, so,
That's right.
Fill her up, fill her up with time. She's very effective.
yeah.
So, okay, well, if you,
No, not-
if you do hear anything, let me know. If you are approached, then get it with town hall and let's talk about it, because we're always trying to keep an eye on that from various, especially when people say they're from Poolesville and that they've been lobbying for it, and a bunch of us at the meeting like, well,
Wait, why aren't you
yeah,
working with us?
who's that person? Yeah. So anyway, if you do hear anything, let us know, so.
Thank
Sure
you.
thing.
Yeah, Erica, thank you. Great job. Don, great job. So looking forward to seeing the buckets. Get with Wade and try to keep us in the loop of what you end up doing so that we're aware, because people will approach us on it.
Okay.
And we want to see it. So it's awesome. Thank you.
We work for you. We are your sustainable
That's right.
advisory.
We all work together. It's all good.
We're on the same team.
Yep, yes, we are. Teamwork makes the dream work. All right, very good, guys. Thank you. Thank you for that. Very appreciative. Looking forward to seeing more on that. Keeping in mind that you're here, appointments to the Sustainable Poolesville Committee is next on our agenda. Wade, if you can lead us off.
Hey, take care.
Good seeing,
Thanks for coming
good
out.
seeing everybody.
Thank you.
Good seeing you guys.
See you, Wib.
Thank
See
you.
Jane.
Yeah, so we have two candidates that have applied for a position on the Sustainable Poolesville team. They've been vetted through the committee themselves, and they have recommended that Kaveta Jane and Samara Sarek be appointed to the board.
Great. And you've circulated that we saw the resumes. We know Kavita applied for another committee already, so we've had a chance to meet her and interview with her as well. Don, the blessing of the Sustainable Poolesville Committee has been.
Absolutely. We did have Danny Embry and Joyce Blair left the committee this year, and so we got four. For those of us who were around when we first joined the sustainable effort, we had 9 people on the committee. I'd like to keep it maybe at 6. And these 2 young women come with good backgrounds that I think will help.
Yeah, pedigree, work ethic, et cetera. We've seen that, so that's great. Does anybody have any questions to town staff or to Don regarding the nominations for those positions for those 2 Poolesville residents?
No, I'd like to move them forward.
Right, so somebody wants to make a motion to approve those 2, we need the names to have them up front, whoever's making that motion.
Sure. All right, I motion that we move Sarah Sarek and Kavanta Jain to the Sustainable Poolesville Committee.
A second.
Motion made by Ed, second by Martin. Any other questions? None? All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? None? Okay, you got more people. Let's do it. Good job.
They've already been working with us.
Okay, you have more people officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, officially now. Good.
That's how Erica, got started, and it was,
That's awesome. Again, I still think it all started on Ed's side of the sink. It's where, I've got to figure out a way to reduce this.
That's right. You have a model of
Responsibly.
excellence, and then you say, how do we help everybody else get there?
No, it's great. Way to go. Way to
All right, so
your
what's next?
contribution too, Ed.
What's next on the agenda? Community Center?
All right, so, actually, I'm gonna, are you guys ready for it? I love the Wade did those graphics.
Yes,
I don't really know what those mean. They look like buckets of white paint to me, but I like them.
the pool bubbles.
All right, right back at you.
All right.
Back at you. Okay, go ahead, town staff, give us
Yeah,
an
so we
update
got
on what
the
we're doing.
Community Center tonight and the things we kind of have to do to get that going. But I kind of wanted to back up a little bit and kind of get some history on it, how long this has been going on as far as, the idea of, location and potentiality of getting this into the, So actually, as we purchased the property, like in 2007, we had a grant for the Dr. Dillingham Park. We came up with this site plan that you see right here, and this is in 2009. This concept plan was drawn up. And it's about a little over 20,000 square foot building that shows in the left-hand corner up there that could be laid out for a community center. And you'll notice the parking area, we did build the northern portion of that parking area just when we put in the skate park and the tot lot. So we've always had this configuration in mind of, this is going to be the use ultimately for Dr. Dillingham Park.
Can I ask a quick question? A while back, I remember attending a Montgomery County Council meeting, and they voted unanimously to fund, well, you call it a recreation center, but the community center. So this discussion here is not about
Give me time.
soliciting money, it's about where?
Where we are in the process.
Oh, but where we are in the process, but also
No.
the physical location?
Yeah, where and where we are in the
Where
process.
and where, okay.
Where and where.
Thank you.
So as you can see, the whole time, we just plan moving forward. And we actually shared this with the county also. When we take a look at the parking spaces, I think we have about 85 parking spaces here, which is kind of what they theoretically believe that a site's going to take for a community center, for a community our size. One thing we did when we did the comprehensive plan, we did a community survey. And one of the questions was, considering Poolesville's existing facilities, what new or additional facilities are needed? And there was 537 respondents to the survey, and 60% of them came up with community center for the number one response. The bubble was 46% for a second response, and then multi-use trails, trailed down to 39. So there's been a want and a need for it for, a long time. And then the Fair Access Committee, and Link's written several articles about this, and Jim and the commissioners, everybody's work and get the high school, and they always lobbied the community center to be a part of that. And that was part of the process all along, and it showed the need that we wanted it there. So we did look at the high school site for a possible location for this, but for security reasons, just for land constraints and parking, other variables that came into the play, it was kind of like, well, it's not going to work on the high school site. But then the fair access and the commissioners, everybody kept pushing it. We need to get this, we need this in our community. Nowhere in Western County do we have a community center and the programs that go along with it, but yet everybody else in the rest of the county does. So in 2022, the county executive did budget for a program of requirements. And as we know, that's just the beginning of being able to get anything accomplished through the government process.
Big wish list.
Process, right. And it's going to, the plan's a planning and guidance document and gets all the first steps to get any funding whatsoever. So the program requirements was completed, and what they came up with really was about an 18,000 square foot building would be needed. You could include a gymnasium, medical suite for the health services, community services and activities, programming for seniors and activities for seniors, after-school activities, and then group meeting areas there's several different groups that meet in town. So they found several different needs through their own work that they had done to investigate it and say these are actual needs in the town that should be part of this.
Question about this. So again, I remember that a number, and I don't remember what number is in my head, but it was a surprisingly big number that was approved by the council. Is that strictly for the building to be built, or does that include the programs?
We'll be getting to that.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, programming will be different. No, the number that was approved in the budget is for design and construction, which we'll get to.
So just the building?
Yep.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and programs and activities are what makes it successful in the long run, not just the building. We all know that. So here's a question right here. So the construction that was approved this March in the county budget was $15.5 million for design and construction. They anticipate 2028 to begin the design phase, and we're trying to get that expedited, and construction for 2029 to 2030.
And my understanding is that, again, and Jim probably knows more about this than I do, that if Poolesville kind of provides a location, that means the county doesn't have to buy property, and that might bump us up in the queue.
Exactly, and we're going to roll right to that right now.
Thank you.
So, site selection. That was, once the funding is earmarked, and we know we're moving forward with it, so we went down, we met with Link and Jim, and Niles and I met with the county rec folks and discussed, site selection and, going through a process. So, yeah, you're right, we want to, Poolesville needs to partner with the county for a site. So we did take a look at all the parks in town, any town-owned property, any county-owned property, including including the bubble, or the pool out there without a bubble. And then, so 20 total sites we looked at. And each site was evaluated using specific criteria that the county has. And here they are right here. And many of them, a couple of them are, opportunities for housing. That's not going to be real likely. It's something we're going to find any sites in Poolesville. But the opportunity for childcare, for buildable area, proximity to town center, these are all important things that we really wanted to focus on, and the county needs to focus on to be able to justify spending this money. And so all 20 sites went through this extensive review, and there was a great big graphic we went through that they went through each site and said exactly which sites had what amenities or what possibilities.
So does that mean the county approved just one location or multiple?
Nope, here we go.
Oh, very good, okay.
So 2 sites really rose to the top. One would be Wayland Commons and one would be Dr. Dillingham Park. And what you see, the blue boxes represent what the parking area would be, the size of a parking area for about 85 to 90 spaces, and the pink is representative of the 18,000 square foot building. So you can see on Wayland Commons, we do have a drainage area at the bottom there that's really not going to work very well for us because the whole park drains to this very corner down here. It can be very wet at times. And obviously, we're not going to wipe out the band shell.
Can I ask one more question, particularly about Wayland Commons? And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I recollect that the gentleman that donated the property to the town where Wayland Commons...
The Wayland family themselves.
...designated that it not be developed.
That's correct, yeah. Mr. Wayland at the time in the late 80s wanted to go ahead and build a strip mall out here in front, and it was turned down by the planning commission, so he could not build. And so then when he developed, or when he donated the land to Poolesville, he had a caveat that there could be no commercial buildings on the property.
Oh, no commercial buildings, and I just thought it was no development.
No, because I had to go down and meet with them when we got the band shell, and we built that.
So this would not violate that covenant?
That's correct.
Okay. I kind of think it does, but I guess that's a question for somebody else to answer.
Yeah. Either way, there's multiple reasons why the town would not want to put the community center on Wayland Commons. Being all the events we have, I mean, it just wouldn't make sense.
Aside from the obvious
So
stuff.
Dr. Dillingham's Park is certainly the number one choice. So the next steps, what we want to do, if the commissioners all agree to, what we're talking about here, it's kind of like where everything's led us to this point, was task the Parks Board with engaging the community for relocating the dog park. And that's in process. We talked about that last week, and I think the Parks Board's going to meet this Wednesday and kind of initiate that process. We also want to introduce the resolution.
Anticipate some bumps in the road there.
There may be. I mean, it's hard to argue.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, anyway, so we have a resolution the county wants us to introduce and pass eventually, saying that we do have the intent to go ahead and use Dr. Dillingham Park for the county to be it'll be a long-term lease for them to use the property, and they would construct the parking lot and the community center on the property. We would maintain the rest of the park and the outside. They would maintain the parking area and the building itself.
And you said a word that kind of caught my ear, lease.
Yes, it'd be
That
like a
mean-
100-year lease for $1. I mean, it's going to.
Oh, $1,
Yes.
okay. I thought it was going to be big money coming into the Poolesville coffers.
No. It's a partnership.
Okay, oh, yes, there we go, partnership.
So at this point here, we would introduce the resolution tonight, and then you receive and consider the public comment, and then potentially put it on the October 21st agenda for consideration for adoption.
So just so I'm clear, the expectation for the Parks Board, which meets on Wednesday, right, I've already announced, made already a presentation about it. So what is the expectation for the Parks Board on Wednesday? Is the Parks Board expected to come up with a final decision on Wednesday?
No. So the idea is on Wednesday is to present some ideas that staff has come up with about where to move the dog park.
All right.
And some of the reasons why to move it and things like that. The idea there is to hear from the public,
Yes.
get their input on these locations and potentially any other considerations that they want to be a part of that discussion.
Right.
And then the Parks Board could go and make a recommendation about where to relocate it to. So the idea is to have dialogue with people about
Can
where
I
to
jump
move
to the
it.
conclusion that because Montgomery County approved two places, right, one is Wayland Commons and one is Dillingham Park,
They did not.
Correct.
they did not approve it?
What if we go
They were
through-
ranked.
Jeff,
We ranked them. Yeah.
what if we go
Well,
through,
I'm-
because some of the questions that you're asking might be answered, if we go through that presentation and then come back and hit some of those questions?
Well, that's Wednesday, though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll let them finish this.
Oh, yeah, okay,
and
sure.
then we could,
Okay, fine.
Well, this is about done.
No, this is it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To your
Well,
point,
then
no, they were ranked, and the two number one sites, the rest of them fell off, they fell way down the list, because they were in neighborhoods, the different parks, they didn't have the area, they would have taken away soccer fields, and like Stevens Park, that was a potential location to put it in Stevens Park, take away a soccer field, but then you're having all the traffic going through a neighborhood to get to it, so it's not close to downtown area. Really, the only two feasible places that come close to being the downtown proximity, walking distances, vehicle or bicycle traffic, is Wayland Commons or Dr. Dillingham
No,
Park.
I don't dispute that at all.
And I think that the board here would agree that Wayland Commons is not the place for it.
that's
Yeah,
correct.
I agree. But I just want to be clear about setting the expectations for Wednesday.
So the expectations for Wednesday versus what we're talking about tonight are two different things.
Well, I agree with that,
Yes,
but I want to be clear
okay.
about it anyway.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, the question will be, where will the dog park be moved to?
Correct.
The question will not be,
Will it be moved?
will it be moved?
Yeah, no question.
right.
And
Exactly.
and what I will address directly, which is not part of this presentation, but is the size of the current dog park.
Yeah.
What moving it means, which is trying to find a place that is the same size, that provides the same amenities as the current one. So that goes into what that discussion is going to be.
I saw your presentation, which was excellent, so.
Yeah.
But also too, Jeff, you should, know that when you're that night, when you're standing in front of what could be one or two dog people or potentially 50 dog people, The conversation should be is that the commissioners, and I can speak for the commissioners on this, are committed to resurrecting the dog park when the time comes for it to actually be moved. I mean, we're still talking about years potentially before we end up doing something like that. So you want to make sure that you relay that information to the public. We'll try and do that as best we can as well, to make sure they know. And also too, I'm sure Niles will have some sort of historical presentation to, if it hasn't been shared already, why Dr. Dillingham Park was purchased, and give some background to, what, to help make it your job easier.
That's a very good point.
And we'll speak to that as well. Just a little bit of, this was the location that was picked years ago, but at the same time, it was always the expectation, including with the county or with the state. When we got public open space money, part of the discussion was always that a community center could go in this location. So,
I forgot about that that's a very big component, actually.
And just part two is that keep in mind too, and we heard this when we were actually working with the county on the spaces. People will see like the big squares, but obviously that doesn't mean that it's a square parking lot or a square building. It's just to designate that approximate square footage, and can be shaped in a variety of ways. So. They were very quick. I mean, I'm sure they've run into people in other presentations. They're like, now make sure you know that a community center is not going to be a square box. And the same thing with the parking. It doesn't have to, it's not a square box. Those are just placeholders. So,
But just also to be clear, I don't mean to interrupt you.
That's fine.
The skate park and the tot lot, unchanged, remain.
yeah.
We think so. I'm not.
No promises.
Until we get into the design part of it and you figure out what type of stormwater management is going to have to be included on the site, which bioswales and different things will. So there's a whole lot of work and a whole lot of time to get there, but.
Yeah, the only real commitment is that once the dog park, assuming everything works the way it's planned, and the site is finally 100% selected by the county, that the dog park will likely have to be relocated, and your job on the Parks Board will be to discuss that relocation.
When does the county weigh in on approving the location?
Well, yeah, we're introducing this tonight. Everybody has a copy of it, of the resolution that will be officially introduced. We will be moving forward with that, assuming that the body decides that's the right thing to do at the next commissioners meeting, and then it goes back to them. They've already vetted out the resolution, so they know that we're moving forward.
Okay, so we basically already have their tacit approval then?
They helped us structure the resolution in a way that works, and also too, Wade and Niles have had pretty extensive conversations about the structure of the lease, et cetera. So I don't know what exactly that, once we do our thing and we put it back in their hands, I'm not sure of the timeline after that, but our job, assuming that we're all moving forward with the community center, is as soon as they tell us to jump, obviously we have good discussions and we have a public forum for it, but we jump as quickly as we can to keep putting it back in their plate.
No, it's very important just to have this commitment from us.
Right.
That goes there. I mean, that's going to start the ball rolling, and it could expedite the whole process.
Yep.
So you want to read that and
Yes, I do.
introduce it into the
Yep, yeah,
record?
if you're ready to do it. And nothing else on this from you guys? Appreciate the presentation. Unbelievable graphics, Wade, on that, or Niles.
Good teamwork. It was good product.
Wade,
He did his, I did mine.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back to that one screen that has the little graphics, the partnership hands that are green. Martians.
Right.
They're green.
I know, my stomach's growling. Just be quiet. Keep reading.
There you go.
I got it. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate that. It's resolution number 002-24. It's introduced tonight, October 7th, 2024. Under the header of Town of Poolesville, a resolution of the Commissioners of Poolesville authorizing a ground lease and partnership with Montgomery County for a community center located on Dr. Dillingham Park. Whereas Section 82.12, parens 52 of the Charter of the Town of Poolesville gives the Board of Commissioners the authority to lease town property for any public purpose, and whereas the Town of Poolesville recognizes the benefits of collaborating with Montgomery County to provide services and resources for the community, and whereas the Town of Poolesville and Montgomery County share common goals in areas such as recreational programming and medical services, and whereas a site selection evaluation has determined that Dr. Dillingham Park is the most suitable location, and whereas a formal partnership and ground lease enable both entities to leverage resources and expertise more effectively, Now, therefore, be it enacted and resolved by the Commissioners of Poolesville that the town of Poolesville intends to enter into a long-term ground lease agreement with Montgomery County to construct and operate a community center and parking area on Dr. Dillingham Park. Assuming that we move forward with this, and we'll have a vote at our next meeting, I'll be signing it, and Maggie will be witnessing it, and thank you for the work you've put together on that. Do you guys have questions on that resolution?
Yeah, one, well, maybe two quick questions. So it's just, I'm just anticipating the discussion at the Parks Board meeting. I could be completely off base. But once we adopt this, and I'm fully in favor of this resolution, that it's not up for debate as to where the community center will be. Right, someone's going to say, well, not Stevens Park, that's huge, that's wide open. Someone's going to say, why don't you buy property over on Bud Road, and the list will be endless.
Yeah, they will say, people will definitely have contribution, I'm sure, and
that's
resident input that's going to be on that. But I don't think that our resolution just clears the path for that to take place. I don't think it.
No, this shows intent to it. There's going to be approvals that go, if we enter the lease, this is going to be another, document before the commission has to approve, all through the whole process. This just shows intent to move forward with the county on this. And hopefully, if people do have questions and think a community center should be somewhere else, they can take a look and we can go more in depth with the whole vetting process that the county went through the site selection process.
I mean, I understand why you're asking.
Sounds a little bit like wet concrete.
Yes, correct. It will dry eventually. Right.
All right.
Yeah. So, I know that you guys there's probably feeling a little bit of heat potentially for what's going to happen on Wednesday, but you got it. You got Niles here. He can further
No, I'm
explain.
not. Yeah,
And again,
I'm
this
very clear about
resolution.
what is and what isn't, yeah.
Right. Everybody can read it. Everybody can take it home. Everybody can memorize it if they want to, but we'll be voting on it at our next meeting.
Okay.
So, very good, guys. Anything else that you have on that? Appreciate the presentation. All good. West Willard sidewalk, my favorite topic.
Finally, right?
Yes.
Well, you got the
I'm
approval.
sorry. No, we vote this next meeting. I appreciate that. Yep. No worries. Introduction. I know you're used to us trying to do things every time in one night, but tonight we're not doing that. Spacing. This introduction, Parks Board meeting. Well, I know you sat behind here. You know how we do things most of the time. Wade, go ahead and talk to us about West Willard sidewalk.
Okay, West
Jerry
Willard
distracted us for a minute. Let's go back to our favorite topic. You're not getting off that easy.
West Willard sidewalk,
Yes, sir.
up near Fisher Avenue.
Approved, yeah.
There's a section missing from where it ends from the high school walking up, and a lot of kids cut through the bank parking lot, and, the sidewalk's missing right there. So we've been working through a process with the property owner there. Typically, once we do get to the point where we have an agreement with the property owner, you guys don't even see it, and it's just signed by the president. But in this negotiation process here, the property owner wants a few things. And so this is why it's before you for an approval. And specifically, and this is pretty typical too, the first one.
No televised graphics?
Sorry.
Okay, keep going.
I can show you my highlighted.
No. Oh, yeah, let me get my glasses on.
We all read it anyway, so.
So typically, when every time we do a sidewalk easement of some sorts, we enter agreements with the folks, and they always want us to maintain that sidewalk and adjacent areas until such time that the property is sold. And then it reverts back to, it's a partnership and share between the property owner. They have to remove the ice and snow. We will be responsible until that property owner does sell the property. And we've done that with almost every one of our easements moving forward, in the past, rather. So that's the first one. The second one, they would like us to construct a fence along the property there. It's going to be a three-railed, like a plastic PVC fence with a gated area. We have a price probably between $5,000 and $8,000 to do that, but that's going to be tax dollars that are spent as part of this agreement.
Everybody's aware of this property location, right? Everybody's good?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's not going to be out of character or anything in that particular property. It may even enhance that property, actually.
Just a quick question, is there enough, Mr. Strong always reminds me the required width of the sidewalk is 5 feet?
5 feet.
It's going to be a 5-foot, yeah. But we get like a 10-foot or even more.
Yeah, the
of an
easement is going to be wider than that, but it's actually only at 2 locations. The rest of it is right of way.
Yeah, it's because it's narrow.
Exactly, it goes, this property goes in and out, so.
Yeah.
And there's a gate that has to be included with that. Also, if any trees are injured during the process, we should be far enough away. They want the trees to be repaired or replaced to make them as they were. But really, that's about it as far as it is. The rest of it is just the regular language that we have. So really, it's just an expenditure for a fence is really why I had to bring this to the board for approval. But,
And this doesn't have to be a vote, but this has to be a consensus?
no, we should go ahead and have a vote. We have a motion and vote, just
Even
to,
though we're not making a budget move beyond the normal? Okay, understood.
just to make it official.
You guys have questions on this? You know how long?
Just
town
one more.
hall's
So
been
is there
working on it.
like an ADA,
Yes.
oh, okay, yes.
All of that
It's
is
required.
included. Yeah, that's
I
one
didn't
of,
see that in what was written up.
It's just normal construction. We cannot construct a sidewalk without it.
Okay, swell.
and it does spell out in the easement making things ADA
Yeah, it does.
requirements.
Oh, okay.
It's actually in the agreement.
Okay, thanks, Niles.
And I do want to bring this to the vote and keep moving on, but, town staff's obviously been working on this for a long, long time, and we've now just persistently stayed on top of it till we finally got somewhere. And ran into some unfortunate circumstances, that have contributed to time delays. But, the time is now. We've stayed on top of it. We've got an agreement. The agreement had to be negotiated more than just the usual on paper. But, give town staff credit and all parties involved, including the homeowner the landowner that we've got it together. So here we are. How would you like to have that structured, sir?
Just to accept approve the easement as presented.
Okay. So we have a West Willard easement that's been presented by town staff. We need to approve the terms, which include, you want to say anything extra in terms of the fence or?
As presented, it's fine. And Jay, I should have said Jay also vetted this and went through it also, so.
Oh, fantastic. Well, there you go. So, all right, so you guys go ahead and somebody tackle that.
That property has a fence. Is it required that the fence look like the existing fence?
So part of it will be looking at the whole fence, because there's areas of damage already to the current fence. So it's looking at making the fence whole.
Okay, swell, thank you.
Just as, not to slow this down, but this is a small price to pay. We have this agreement now that can be, that we can move forward with. We've spent more time and more legal time trying to figure it out than we have the cost of the fence.
Yeah, no,
That's what it comes down to. So
I agree.
we can now fish and cut bait and get this
Good.
moving. So,
I make a motion, we approve the
Thank
West
you.
Willard sidewalk agreement, easement agreement.
I second his motion.
motion by Martin, second by Ed. Any other questions? I look at Jeff. Any other questions? Okay, good. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Very good. Great background work. Again, great guys. Very proud of you
Much for that, yeah.
for getting this
A
done.
long time coming.
Right.
It was a long time. It was, yes.
All right, very good. Nothing on the old business, town manager's report.
We'll talk about your water line.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry, can I ask
So-
you a question about the
And-
fence? I mean, not about the, I thought we already discussed that there will also be a flashing light there.
There's already flashers. It's further down.
Further down, yeah.
Yes, but it's near the high school. That and then the next intersection down as well. So there's
Well,
flashers.
yeah, because
there.
that's where the parking entrances are, yeah.
There's not going to be a flashing light at the entrance of West Willard and Fisher.
No, that's a stop sign.
that's a-
sign there.
That's a
Oh, there's a
dangerous
stop sign at West
situation.
Willard, sure, okay. I'll shut up.
Okay, yeah, good. Next up.
Yeah, I'll take
You could roll right into that one.
Yeah. So, just a quick update. The first thing is on the Coalhouse Water Line project. We're getting towards the end. On Friday, they completed the last lateral connection. So now it's just installing the new hydrants. And there might be some time where the water is shut off there to accommodate that over the next day or two. But they're making progress there. They're going to pave over the lines right now, where the water line is. In the spring, we're going to come back and pave the entire courts. Related to that, what we're also doing before the asphalt plants close and things like that, we're going to be doing some road patches all around town and addressing some issues related to that. So that's also another process, and we have a quote for that, and we're going to move forward. So we're going to address both the Coalhouse water line and various road segments all at the same time right now. So that'll be over the next couple of weeks here.
Can I ask a quick question about the water? I remember the American Rescue Fund provided money so that the sewer lines could be protected from I&I.
Yeah.
Is that also the case with the new lines in Cull House?
So these are water lines, so their replacement is being paid for by American Rescue Fund funds.
Okay, okay.
But it's not the same process as the sewer lines, but it's
Oh, okay.
from the same source.
Okay, okay, thank you.
We were contacted by the George Peck Memorial folks, and they're working on, they've had some money donated to them to purchase a concrete bench and install it out there by the sign, by the memorial sign. It's going to be set back, so it's not in our easements or anything. They have permission, written permission from the church to be able to do it. So really, there's not an approval process per se for us. If anybody has somebody to let us know. If anybody has an opposition, they would like to know. But they would like also to, probably in January, they're thinking, it has a kind of a dedication for the bench also. So they're going to be reaching back out to us with that.
Oh, nice. A really cold day.
The last year too, right? That's right.
Yeah. Exactly. March doesn't hurt, though.
Well 2 filtration, the units are in place. They've been inspected by EMDE right now, which they're good to go. So we filled them up with the water. We're going through the disinfection process with it. We'll be taking the PFAS samples. Takes about 5 weeks probably to get those samples back. Then we can do our bacteria and nitrate samples. And then once that's done, we can put it in service. Just in time to take it out of service for winter.
Is that the same thing with well 3?
Well 3 is
We had the issue with well 2 and 3.
well 3 is already online and already has the filters. So this doesn't affect that.
And the MDE tested it and the breakthrough was 0?
Well, there's breakthrough that happens, but that's where we've been doing the change out about every 6 months on that.
Right.
So well
Just
2.
remind me again, how much is the medium, the filtration medium?
To change out, it's like 21,000 each time.
For 6 months?
Yep.
Oh my, and where does it go to?
Well, it goes to a place in Mexico, and then they,
It's incinerated. They have to
Yes.
incinerate it to break apart the ionic
yeah,
bonds.
Far away.
yeah.
Oh dear. Thank you.
Let's see. You were talking about Jerusalem Road?
Yes, so as Jim posted on Facebook about it, but we sent a letter to the county about Jerusalem Road and the conditions there. I had a conversation with somebody from the county. They were, last week, they went out and looked at the road, supposed to get back in touch with me on the solutions there, maybe repaving it and things like that. They've been trying to do it for other rural roads, like Comus Lane and I'm blanking on the other road they were doing recently. But that is where we're at, so they're evaluating it, and they hope to get back to us soon on that front as well.
And when you had that conversation with them, just again, some residents have approached me, and I know we've talked about this, but they do not want chip and tar. They want like full asphalt, replacement.
Yes.
Chip and tar will just be pushing it down the road for
Right.
another.
And we've tried to express in those terms what we're looking for. And I mean,
Right.
John explicitly talked about, we're going to lose the road if we don't actually address it properly.
And I also wanted to mention too that we had another resident approach me about saying that the road is dangerous there, and that the need for additional signage on it. So when we're having those conversations with the county, they were talking mostly about those like arrow signs.
Yeah,
that
it's
tell
the curve
people
there as well.
that
Yeah.
the- Yeah, the
Yeah.
sharp turn signs, and that they made a good point. I know that for the most part, the people that are speeding in town are people, but the accident that took place actually on the last one was supposedly someone that was unfamiliar with the road, and so that led. I mean, there was a high speed situation, but that led to it without the proper marking. Or, that the idea behind it was that there potentially was not the right marking for it.
Right. I know there was some comments also about why didn't the developer make improvements to the road when
Right,
developing
yes.
it? And that road is a rural rustic road, so there's some really different characteristics
to
and
it, right.
dynamics that go along with the whole thing. So I don't know if some signage can't be put up. I know
There may not be,
When-
or they
when,
may say that, and
Chairman
then if we have to have outcry for it, we'll give it a go.
they wanted
Friday
to build
one's
it.
paving it.
Yep, when they wanted to build the entrances to those subdivisions, they want acceleration and deceleration lanes, which would be the normal engineering, which you do on a road like that. The county would not allow it because it was the designation of that road. So there's some challenges with that road just because of that.
Is there any way to update the the designation as rural and rustic? Because
We would have to lobby the county, so that's in the
we don't have to maintain anything.
We did put that in the comprehensive plan as one of our goals and objectives was to
Okay.
lobby the county to get that removed from the
Yes, yeah.
list. Because it's no longer a rural rustic road by definition.
I was just gonna say,
right,
once you have a certain amount of traffic on it, doesn't that
And-
change whether or not?
Right, there's no,
build up.
yeah,
Like
the house is
development.
on one side, it's not a,
Yeah,
Yeah.
New home.
view or nothing, so.
Okay,
Thanks.
that's good to know.
Well, can I ask another, this is completely like off topic, but the little road that's behind what used to be the Poolesville beauty spot?
Yeah,
Name of that?
Jonesville?
Jonesville, right, yeah.
Jonesville, yeah. Is that connected to the
Cattail.
wastewater treatment plant?
Yes,
No, you can?
No.
it is. They have, yes, there's manholes down the road right there that goes down to the.
Oh, you talk about you talk about what happens underneath it is connected?
Well, the homes on Jonesville, I was wondering if they're connected to the wastewater treatment plant?
Yes,
Yes, okay. But they have their own wells?
correct,
Okay. And that pipe is owned by WSSC?
correct.
Even though it enters the wastewater treatment plant?
Yes, there's an agreement that was done in 1982 or 4 for that to happen.
I was just checking to see if my knowledge was still
You
intact.
talking about trying to redesign all that, Jeff? That's probably low priority. All right, very good, guys. They're giving me the notion. So is there any other questions for the town staff? No?
Yeah, how you guys coming with the marquee?
Preston is working
Preston.
on a solution, and we have to redo actually the siding that was inside those pillars to make it thicker and stronger to do with the brick that we're going to do on it. So he has all the materials. He'll be working on getting that up here in the next couple of weeks.
Excellent, thank you.
It's got a kind of a water tower graphic feel to me.
Steampunk.
I hope that, because that was a
Yeah,
nightmare.
kind of steampunk,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, right. There's a solution, right.
Yeah.
Kind of raw.
Yeah, hey,
All right.
Miles, just one thing.
Yeah.
Over there where the guy, Tony used to have that barbecue truck.
Yes.
If the facility owner could trim those, so you have the sign.
Yeah.
And you have the overgrowth.
And
And they need to cut down the overgrowth so people could see to make the turn.
we previously had Skip go over there and talk to them, so we'll
follow up
have
on
that.
Yeah, I
conversation
noticed that
again.
over the weekend.
Yep.
How it keeps growing back?
Yeah, they need to do something
They
about
don't
that.
maintain it very well.
Between that sign that says lease and all
Yeah.
that grass, maybe they could do
Grass is
something.
super tall right now.
It's hard to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, and then with the rain especially over the last few days, so I'll have them go over there and look.
Okay. Jim, you need a motion?
Oh, yes, we do. We do. You guys are all
Make a
done?
motion, we adjourn.
I
Motion?
second that motion.
Second by Ed. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.
All right.
Good job, guys.
It's 2 hours.
Thank you, town staff.